What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Her Lounge podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Her Apparel. So if you haven't yet, go on over to herappareltx.com. We have a bunch of new stuff. If you are in Texas, in Houston to be exact, you know the rodeo is coming right up. So I have a ton of new items for you to go check out. I am getting new inventory probably about on a monthly basis. So go on over there and shop. And if you're local, come visit me at the store, 2431 Rice Boulevard, and shop local with 13 different female-owned businesses. So with that being said, y'all know I like to start my podcast with a positive quote, and today's quote is, "Every moment is a fresh beginning." And I say that to say this. So if you are on my Discord, I've already given you this news. But these will be my last podcast of the, not the year, but for sure for a good hot 6 months. I am going to take a break from podcasting for probably the next 6 months. And that is assuming that everything that I'm working on is where it needs to be. So I don't want to, I guess, say I'll be back in 6 months for sure, but that's my plan. And my plan is to just podcast one time a week. I will not have a Patreon or anything like that. So if you joined my Discord, while I had my podcast and my Patreon account, you will stay there. I will continue to pay for the membership services for that so that I can continue to stay connected with you guys and we can continue to chat about all the things that we talk about. So that's not going anywhere. It's just the podcasting I will continue to still try to upload on YouTube. That is my goal, to be more active on YouTube, on my social media. And that's really what I want to spend my extra time with, is working on my business. I don't think I've said this on the podcast, but I'm actually expanding at the store. And with that being said, I will be busy trying to continue to grow Her Apparel, because it has been growing to where I'm now able to expand to a whole other section, which I'm very excited about. So I will have a whole wall to myself. And then the girls' brand is moving kind of to this little middle section where we are now. So really excited about that. A lot of cool things happening that I'm excited about. A lot of opportunities have started to come kind of my way with my brand, and I just kind of want to jump on it. And I felt like my podcasting was just kind of happening half-ass. So I was not really in here all the time trying to podcast. I was always like rushing to get here. I was always asking Juan, hey, do you have any episodes in the bank that you can use, please? Because I don't have time to podcast today. So, a lot of that is the reason why I'm taking a little break from podcasting. And Juan always made a very good point, which I agree with him. It was basically like, you got to master one thing before you can open up another thing. And I'm not saying that I sucked at my podcast, but I don't think I was giving my podcast 100% of my energy the way I do my apparel, the way I do like all the other stuff that I have going on. I give 100% energy to that. And to be honest with you, I would say, I don't know, Juan, what do you say? I think podcasting, my energy would be.
It was just scatterbrained. If anything, it was more like you were doing it, but your brain was really still on your business.
Yeah.
And so
100%.
I was just saying, just put all your effort towards that so you can grow that even faster. And then once you get to a certain point there, I mean, at that time we could always relook and revisit your podcast. I mean, there's no shame in stepping away. It's just a matter of like making sure you have everything else so it can take some of the stress off, and then also just help you kind of like essentially just kind of streamline that first before you decide to do anything else, because you don't know where you're going to go after this. Like, I mean, from there, it might open more opportunities around town. It might open more opportunities for, I mean, you just did that fashion show. You know, it's going to open up a lot of different avenues if you're going harder on that. So
Right.
putting 100% effort on that with no strain of having to take away your time from the business and not having to take away brain power thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do for this podcast? Or what am I going to talk about this time? It's like literally like, no, I want to, oh, I got to do this thing at the store. Let me plan that out. Okay, with that 4 or 5 hours that I was going to do that day, I can get a lot more done productivity wise, and then also get other orders out. So
and
it
then
just made sense.
markets. I want to do markets so that more people know about my brand. You know, my brand started something that was just a thought. It was online. I didn't commit to it 100% because I was focused on just Chingo's brand, right? And which was I was the tour manager and I did all that stuff. And so I think my brand at that time was kind of more of my hobby versus like a legit 100% business because I was so busy with his. And then when I saw that my brand kind of had potential, I was like, wait a second, I kind of want to like pursue this and I think I want to do it. And so then that's when I decided to really start again creating t-shirt designs and going from there. And then the opportunity like came about at the Hive. And, you know, I thank God for all the opportunities. I thank him for being able to open doors for me for, you know, I've only been there. I'm barely going to make 2 years. And in those 2 years, this will be my third time expanding. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, actually my fifth time expanding there. So this will be my fifth time expanding. I'm very excited about that. I started with one rack, like I've told you guys before. Then the one rack turned into adding a shelf. Then the shelf turned into, hey, someone's leaving. Would you like to have that wall space to that wall space? And then, hey, so-and-so's leaving. Would you like to bring in your daughter's brand to opening that part of it? To now, hey, someone else is leaving. Would you like to have the remainder of the wall where you are and just bring your kid space in the middle where your other rack was? And I said, what a genius idea. That's even better because now it just looks like one cohesive section versus I'm kind of like in different parts of the store. So I've worked my way up there in the last year and a half. This June will make 2 years that I've been there. So I've done a lot of work. I've done a lot of markets. Markets are not easy. They're very hard. Thank God for Juan and Pete because they come out and help me and set up. Really, it's mostly the setting up part. It's the most like the selling and the, you know, meeting people is not the hard part, but, you know, it's the setting up and then, you know, you have a vision and then you have to keep in mind, like sometimes the weather's not, you know, doesn't work for you. Sometimes it does. You know, there's wind, knocks stuff over, you know, there's not a place to set up your background. That happened to us last time. Juan and I were trying to set up my wall and then it's like, oh, there's nowhere to, you actually made it work. Wait a second. You did make it work, right? We found a way to make it work. And, so I ended up with my wall, but at first I was like, just forget it, Juan. He's like, no, we can get it. We can do it. I was like, I was so frustrated. And that was such a sucky market. And I've said that before. Some markets are good. Some markets are bad. And, you know what I'm saying? Some you make money, some you don't, but at least you meet people. People know about your brand. They're able to scan and follow you and, you know, do all that. And then, yeah, like you were saying this weekend, I had the opportunity to be a part of a fashion show for models of Texas. I had never heard about this organization. What happened was they reached out to the Hive and since I helped the owner out, she asked if I could take over this project. In the past, the Hive has been a part of other fashion shows, but all they do is come get the clothes together. The models come try it on and then they go drop off the clothes and then they go pick up the clothes. So I don't think Gretchen knew that I was going to have to not only fit all the models, but I was also going to have to be at the fashion show. I was actually had to coordinate music, which I was like, wait a second, y'all asking for way too much, y'all. Like, I am not a fashion designer. I am a purchaser. It's a little bit different. So it was funny. It took a lot of work. It was a lot of work. And it was really, the hardest part was trying to piece together outfits for these models. One, They're very young. I don't think anybody was older than 21 years old. I think I think the oldest was 21. So imagine our type of clothes. Our clothes there is I'm probably one of the ones that sell a little bit of a younger, more hip look. Everybody else, I would say, is a little bit more of a everyday wear, but I would say they're more geared towards women who are like probably late 40s to their 60s, so it's a little bit more of a conservative look. There's not all these like hip, trendy looks there. These are more like what you would consider basics. You have your basics that you can buy to add on to, maybe add jewelry to, a jacket to, or whatever. So piecing outfits together with everybody's items wasn't the easiest, because all I kept picturing was these young girls trying to wear hella grown women's items, but we got it to work. One girl was so tiny, even a small was so big on her. So she had to roll up her pants, and then we had to pin it in the back just to make it fit her. She was a shorter model. But this organization goes around doing fashion shows, and they reach out to boutiques or local designers. They're basically just trying to make a fashion community in Texas in general, not just Houston, but in Texas all around. So it was really cool because Mickey was able to walk in it. Mickey has done a few fashion shows and photo shoots, and it's kind of something she wants to step into. So it kind of worked out because I was able to give her an opportunity as well, give myself an opportunity as well. So it was really cool to work with everybody. I met a lot of models, which I'm so happy because, I'm able to, I guess, if I have a photo shoot and I need models, I have models that I can use now. And I made these connections with them. I made a connection with this guy who in the future perhaps will say, hey, I'd like to just use her apparel, not necessarily, the Hive, So and now that I know about these, which I didn't even know these were happening, like now I'd love to, you can submit your brand to things like this, and which I didn't even know about. So I was like, wait, so I can curate a whole collection and then have it in a fashion show to continue to expose my brand, right? Now, granted, I am not a designer, but I am a curator of fashion. So I feel like that's still a part of fashion, and while everybody's that was walking down the runway was a tad bit more en garde, or however you say that word, which is a little bit more like a fashion show, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how many of us would wear a fire dress, just for fun. It's like specific, these items are like for specific events or a specific look. And that's because these designers design with their audience in mind. I kind of curate my fashion based on what I'm currently liking, what I currently see is out, and how can I make it age appropriate so that, somebody who's 42 can wear it and doesn't feel like they're wearing Forever 21, clothing. So, really cool experience. I had a great time. It was a lot of work. I was really tired on Sunday. Man, I got home from church and, Pete had to go fix the fence at his mom's house, and I was sitting there. I told Penny, I said, "Hey, let's have a girls' day." Penny was asleep, and Sunny was asleep, and we started watching Barbie. And I swear I was watching Barbie with her. And next thing you know, she's like, "Mom, are you snoring?" I was like, "Ooh, am I? Sorry." I was like, "I didn't mean to," but I had totally fallen asleep on her while we were and my hand was in the bowl of popcorn. So obviously, I must have just been way too tired. But it was exhausting. I never thought that it was going to be this exhausting to do a fashion show. It was a lot of coordination. We were very organized. That was what one of the compliments was thank you for being so organized and having everything together. But I had everything labeled. No one thought to bring, I guess, a steamer or a sewing kit, I guess. I'm not sure, but my steamer went around the entire room because, I was kind of prepared for, worst case, what if this needs to be ironed or looks bad or whatever. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I will definitely do it again. I definitely want to do it again. And then, of course, I feel like I can throw a fashion show now. So yesterday I went to go and help the owner. We had a mega sale at the store, and we were sitting there chatting. I said, "Gretchen, I think we can have a Hive freaking fashion show. I'm telling you, we can do it. I know what to do now. We know these models. These models can come and model for us now. A lot of these girls are up and coming. So really what they want is exposure versus like financial, like payment, you know? So I thought it would be great now that we have this like connection to these models. And, you know, Gretchen is very well connected. So I said we can maybe find a venue. And, you know, maybe I can reach out to like find a like liquor sponsor since we can't sell alcohol because we don't have a license. But, you know, and I said, and wine and everything. So I had this like whole idea. And so we're going to visit that idea, which I'm excited about. But then, you know, why would I stop doing one thing only to just add more things to my plate? Because I've decided to throw a Galentine's Day event at the store. So on February 13, guys, if you're in the Houston area, I'd love for you to come join us at the Galentine's Day event that we're having from 4 to 7. There will be like small bites. Really, it's just going to be until, you know, they're done. So we're just going to have a few things there. We're going to have a giveaway that you must be present for to pick up. So it'll be really cool because a lot of the women who are there, I've asked if they wanted to participate in this giveaway basket, which is awesome because one lady's like doing a gift certificate to her brand. Another lady is donating like a purse, and another one's like, it's really cool. Everybody's given something in this basket, which I'm really excited about. So, soon as I move, because we're recording this on Tuesday, which is the 30th today. Tomorrow's the 31st. I move into my new space. So I will be working late, getting everything moved, getting everything cleaned. I'm going to make content out of it because I need to show you guys how I started. And I just want to prove a point that hard work really pays off, and it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of spreading yourself thin, because that's exactly what I do. I spread myself thin to where I'm just like not, you know, I wasn't given 100% obviously here. So that's the reason for, you know, this little shift in taking a break from podcasting. So if you're not yet, please go follow me on YouTube. My channel's called I Am Her with 2 R's. Go subscribe to there if you're not following yet. And lucky for some of you guys, I think Juan and I have talked about releasing some of my private episodes so that the podcast category can kind of keep going. Because I think there's plenty enough to keep me going for at least like the next couple of months, if I'm not mistaken. So, because they're all private from last year. So all the ones from last year, all the ones from this year. So I think I should be good for a hot minute, to where if you weren't a Patreon before, you know, you'll get to hear some of these podcasts. Not all of them will be released, because some of them were like private conversations that we had. And, you know, those are from my patrons only. So, you know, those might not all be released, but most of them I think will, with the exception of the few that, like I said, were private conversations that, you know, were with me and my patrons. So, yeah, so just continue to follow me. Please continue to support. If you don't purchase anything, that is fine. You following me, sharing my stories, liking my stuff on social media, liking my stuff on YouTube is still a way that you can support my brand. Tell a friend about it. You know what I'm saying? Share the word. I can only get better by, you know what I'm saying, you guys helping me continue to support my brand. So with that being said, I really appreciate you guys being there this whole time, sticking with me. And then I hope that when I get back from this break, that you guys are still there and will help me continue to grow the podcast. So thank you guys so much for listening. I will see y'all maybe in 6 months. Bye.